What's up? It's Broman. Hi. And we're live on Twitch right now, so there might be people who do annoying things during this video, but here you go. This is my first build video. This is the one that I wanted to do, smile, when the game came out. This is Amara. She is one punch ma'am. All right, I'm going to flip this over to the other side so you can see shit. All right, blam. Okay. She is one punch ma'am. All right, so the goal of this build was to work with the face puncher, all right, and elemental effects to boost the melee damage as much as we can. If you don't know, the face puncher is a legendary that scales off of your punch damage. So this is directly affected by everything we're doing, modifying modifying Amara's melee. So it's all going to stack there. Okay, so we're starting with personal space. Obviously, we're going to be a melee character. So we're going to be up close. It's going to be increased damage while we're up close. So we got 48% there. Clarity, because obviously you need health regen. You need something to keep you alive. So we got 5 points in that. Helping hands. We have 5 in here. Damage reduction after action skill use. Obviously, need more survivability. I just threw a point in here because we had a leftover one. It's probably a better place to put this point. Feel free to leave that in the comments or tweet it at me using incredibly rude language and calling me a dumbass, because I know one of you's out there. I know you're out there, Terry, and I know you want to tweet it. So you go ahead. You have my permission. Next, find your center. So this is increased melee damage after action skill use. It's 200%, and it extends your melee range by 75% in the last 20 seconds. This is awesome. We took one with nature. Max health increase, elemental resistance to your action skill elements, so it's just more survivability there. We took do unto others and guardian angel because having some retaliation is helpful. It helps rip shields while you're running around, or whatever your melee element is. Jab cross. Whenever Amara does melee damage to an enemy, she gets increased action skill damage and gun damage. This is basically for the action skill damage. Maybe these 5 points could go somewhere else, but I spent it in here because this, which is actually super important, passive ability is being buffed by this rope-a-dope solitary breaker class mod. So that's that tree. We'll get to this in a second, but essentially you want this so you can increase your Reaper skill and you get that extra 100% melee damage. It's like super free. I could probably have better bottom rolls on this, maybe like shotgun damage, but this is also another part of the damage reduction strategy. So you have 29% depending on how close you are. So again, it's built for that. So this is this tree. Okay. Next, we are over here in the phase grasp tree, in the Fist of Elements. We're going to convert a portion of weapon damage into element, action skill element. It's going to convert part of the face puncher into the action skill element. I took anima, so that way, obviously, we're going to be dealing lots of stats effect damage. So this is just kind of backing up our damage output. Illuminated Fist. This is the key. This converts your melee to your action skill element. So now once you've taken this, every elemental buff that you have is scaling onto your melee as well. Which means it's scaling into the shotgun as well. So Illuminated Fist is very important. Tempest is increased. Again, it's increased elemental damage and increased shock damage. So I'm not really sure how this all plays together quite yet, because we all know how math is with Borderlands. But essentially, if you're running the default element, which is shock, it's either a 50% boost or like a 36% boost, depending on how these apply to each other's. We took mag size because we had some extra points. We took catharsis because I like explosions. These might not be optimal as well. Again, this is something you can tweet a very profane suggestion to me about later. So that's the skill trees. All right. These are the points in the skill trees, and Brawl, the points in the Fist of Elements. Now we go over here. We already talked about the Funts Puncher. We already talked about the Face Puncher a little bit. Any Face Puncher will do. The damage is obviously the same. You might want something that has like a better reload rate. I just got this one, has better fire rate than my old one. That's kind of for you to play with. We have the Rope-a-Dope. We have the Breaker class mod, legendary class mod. Very good. Smile. Okay. So continuing. Continuing on, we have chat is making me laugh. We have the Brawler Ward. This comes from the Grave Ward. That's where, you can find it. You can find it in different elements. I got this one. It's neutral, so it doesn't give me like anything special or extra, but it just works. So when your shield is depleted, it's 300 additional melee, 300% additional melee damage. Dude, I'm so good at talking right now. And it increases your health regen, so more survivability and more weapon damage. Which isn't really helpful, but the melee damage is. I have a pipe bomb because lol. And this is the final piece that really takes this from being great to awesome. So we have this Radiation Stone static charge. I would recommend getting a static charge with any bonus. Any bonus you want. Essentially what this does is it imbues your melee with yet another element. So now we're doing radiation damage, which is being increased by 80% after all the other calculations are done on the damage. So the one thing we do know is that artifacts are multiplicative, which means it takes all the stats that you have together and it weights at the end and it adjusts that number. So this is doing 80% radiation damage and 50% bonus shock damage. So it's when everything is together, you're looking at 100 and... math live is scary. 30% increase on whatever your melee damage is going into the equation. So it's a little over doubling it. And then again, it has 16% shock damage on this and action skill cooldown rate, which helps. Things that I would like to improve. I would like to have a face puncher that is anointed to do more melee damage after my slam. That would be dope. Right now, I don't really have any anointed stuff. I don't think that really plays into that. But that's kind of how that's working. So this is what we've got. This is what we've got so far. And what we've been messing around with and using. As always, there are always other options. I'm sure that some of you know some sort of magical thing I should be doing in the blue tree, and you'll let me know. But anyway, enough talking. Let's go punch something to death. Some questions you'll probably have watching this video. No, the drop source of the face puncher is currently unknown. I'm sure if you're watching this video later and you're like, oh my god, I love this build, and then like this is the part in the comment section 6 months from now where people are gonna be like, I fucking hate this guy, right? Doesn't even care about the video game. What a bitch. And you wouldn't be, you would be wrong. All right, let's punch things. So a serious question that I'm sure many of you have while you're watching this video, while we were loading in down there, was, well, could you use the butt plug for this? Absolutely. That's still scaling on your melee damage and all that other stuff and doing increased damage from behind. I like this build, because, and you'll see along with everything else, that the static shock artifact works really, really good with shooting a gun and stripping large groups of enemies' shields. So, like, the butt plug could work, but I'm not a huge fan of it. So we'll see if we can get this going with the increased melee damage and killing people and everybody melting and all that fun shit. So one of these big problems, or the big problems that sucks with this, is you want to slide a lot, but you can't do ice damage, and we're dying a lot. This is gonna go. This is great on YouTube. And when you take an ice damage, you can't slide, which means you can't get that extra 50% shock damage into your build. But hanging around with your shield off most of the time seems to be the play. You go down, you get back up. But you already did that, so you just walk to the nearest enemy and punch them until they explode. My favorite for this build is you can get up really close and you can actually hold down shoot and melee, and you'll do this double punch situation, which just annihilates everything, including bosses. If we make it to Trant and I'm still having a good time, we'll kill him. But yeah, the butt plug's a decent addition to your arsenal as a melee character. But I figure everyone's sort of depending on it, so why not use the other melee-based gun in the game that, you know, won't ruin your internet search history? Because, like, listen, man, everybody who's been playing Borderlands lately, your whole search industry is, what do I do with the butt plug? Or how do I send my friend a butt plug? And then after that, it's where do I find a pipe bomb? And so, like, these things are very relevant to the game, but also the government's probably super interested in you at this point. So, like, welcome to the watch list, everyone. I hope that I hope that you like it here. Yeah, you know, it's a great place to be. Man, when the shield comes off, it's just over. That's a badass, by the way. No, are you gonna knock me down, bud? Probably not. Don't forget porcelain pipe bomb. Yeah, so everybody knows it's just been probably a really tough week at the NSA. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, everybody's monitoring everything, and they're like, Jesus Christ, everyone's talking about pipe bombs now. This is terrifying. All right. I feel like you've seen plenty of the One Punch Man build. Yeah, you're basically unkillable. Many things die in a singular punch, especially when you get all your melee buffs going. But most importantly, you can tell your friends that they don't really need any guns to play Borderlands. You can do this with or without the face puncher. So yeah, that's what I got for you. Thank you for watching. Make sure to rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Also, if you want to, I don't know, get the best 1 minute of my day every day, I'd recommend following me on Instagram, because, you know, that's a fun place where you can laugh and then you can go back to work, you know? Or you can show it to your friends. You could say, hey, Grandma, found this bald guy on the internet. Check out his Instagram. He's kind of your type. And then if I get an awkward DM from your grandma later, I'll know it was you from this video. And that's reverse marketing. Bye, chat. Bye, YouTube.